Yo YouTube, what is going on? Jayo here, bringing you another MLB The Show 20 video. This time we have a lot of content and we're gonna go over all of it. Me and Movie Gaming TV, the legendary Movie Gaming TV. You probably know who he is. If you don't know, make sure to click. His links are gonna be down in the description below. Go check him out. But we're gonna be going over all of the cards, ranking them, mentioning who's on their top 10, who's not, honorable mention, all of that. It's gonna be a little bit of a longer video, but you wanna go through all of it. I mean, there's a lot of good content, there's a lot of good cards. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys started the grind. As you can see, we already started ours. We have like almost 20 cards already. So shoot, hopefully the goal is to have 100% in the next couple weeks. So yeah, expect some more tips video on how to get that. But again, I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit that thumbs up if you do enjoy it. If you want to see some more collabs, let me know. And again, let me know down on the comment section below if you agree, if you don't agree, what are your favorite cards, all of that good stuff. Let me know down on the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but the next video, I mean, with all that we just did, look at this. Look at this. There's gonna be a huge pack opening. If you like and want pack openings uploaded here on the YouTube channel, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Again, appreciate you guys again. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, let's get into it.
What's going on, Show Nation? It's Movie with Movie Gaming TV. Today, I'm brought to you by Yayo Gaming, one of the nicest dudes in the entire community. I've known Yayo for a long time. Been trying to schedule a collab for a long time as well, and we finally have been able to do so. What's up, Yayo? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Hope you are. I'm excited. I'm overwhelmed, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Thank you for having me.
Problem, man. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Yayo's YouTube channel, and make sure you guys go follow him on Twitch. If you guys haven't already, you guys will really enjoy his content. And we're gonna go through a top 10 list. We both have our own top 10s for the Affinity cards. We got some honorable mentions, but we are gonna go through every single team and give our opinion on whether or not you should go after these cards today. So we're gonna start it off with the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles, to me, I'm not too crazy about this Jim Palmer card. I'm not wild about his pitch set. I really don't care for his motion. So to me, Yayo, he's a no for me. I'm not going after this card.
Same boat for me. I mean, it's good that he has 5 pitches. And again, I feel like every card here is good. I don't think there's bad cards, but at this point, Jim Palmer just won't make my rotation. I have him in my bottom 5, actually.
I think that's a good spot for him. I'm just not a fan of that card. Next, we're going to move on to the Red Sox, and we got Dwight Evans. What do you think about Dwight Evans, Yayo?
I like Evans. I like the fielding and the arm, that 99 arm strength. I mean, Cody Bellinger just came out, and one of the things that people like the most, obviously, aside from his swing, is that 99 arm strength. And I mean, he does meet the 80 power threshold against righties as well. So 89, 88 against righties, 116, 98. He's actually very good against lefties. And then the prestige version is obviously going to put a 90 plus power against righties, 100 plus power against lefties. I've used him already, and I like his swing. I mean, I'm a Red Sox fan. Some people may call me a homer, but I mean, he's not bad. Again, I don't have him on my top 10. He's more around the 15 area, but he's a solid card.
It is a solid review. Personally, for me, for Dwight Evans, I think this card comes into my honorable mentions. Card prestige would be really nice to me. Stick him in the corner outfield. He's got really good defense. He's got pop. He's got a lot of vision as well. So as that secondary of first base, you prestige him. He's going to be a diamond at first base with 99 arm strength, 99 arm strength in the outfield as well. A little bit slow for an outfielder. It's like I wouldn't put him in center field or anything like that. But a well-balanced card, and that's always what I'm looking for, is a card that's as 5-tool as possible. So for me, Dwight Evans to me is in my honorable mentions, but a very solid card. Now let's move to the New York Yankees. We got Don Mattingly. What are your thoughts on Don Mattingly, Yayo?
I'm not interested in it at all. Again, not a bad card. Very good fielding. He obviously fields lefty. 92 fielding is very good. But there are so many more, more options at first base. that are better than him, just flat out better than him.
I'm in line and step with you on this one. I do like the 92 fielding for, as diamond defense, but that power just really isn't quite there. I don't think this is one you really want to go after. Even if you prestige him, he's still going to have some lower power, has some more contact, but I just think there's better options out there than Don Mattingly. Go ahead and move to the Tampa Bay Rays, and we got Crime Dog Fred McGriff up here. You think about the Fred McGriff, Yayo?
I mean, and this is exactly what I mean. Wouldn't you rather have Fred McGriff over Mattingly? I mean, he doesn't have the defense, but at first base, does it really matter that much? I don't think it's that important. This card is gonna rake like 98, 102 power, and that's before getting the prestige, which obviously we mentioned that this stage 3 team affinities can be prestige. I mean, this card looks insane. It actually looks insane offensively, and I mean, I'm taking McGriff over Mattingly any day. I have him at the 14th spot actually for McGriff, but he looks like a very solid card.
It's a real good rating for him. 114, 99, 98, 102 with 89 vision. Definitely can hold it down at the plate. He's a lefty. Always kind of like having a left-handed first baseman when I can. It's just more natural for double plays, for relay throws, that kind of deal. I like having a lefty at first base. His defense and speed to me are definitely, I mean, he does have it right at silver defense with that 70 fielding, so that is nice. Only 39 speed. I'm a little bit lower, I think, on this card personally than you are, but that is why we're getting two opinions out there. Make sure you guys down in the comment section let us know which are some of your affinities here in stage 3. We're going to move on to the Blue Jays here, and we got a relief pitcher here in Tom Henke, and this is an interesting card, I think, as well. Seam forkball and slider. It's our only relief pitcher, has per nines that are similar to Rob Dibbles. He doesn't have that cutter, that slider. And Yayo, what do you think about that forkball and that slider? What do you think about Tom Henke?
I think
you faced him already, haven't you?
Yeah, I faced him already. His delivery is I mean, it looks pretty normal. You can read the pitches very well. I wish the forkball was a little bit slower, more along the 87, 88, and that slider even slower, so you can have that pitch speed differential. It's just not big enough for me. Very easy to control though. That fastball can't touch 100, 101. He doesn't have outlier, which is, I feel like it's something that would have given him an extra boost. But again, bullpens, there's not a lot of bullpen arms. There's not a lot of great bullpen arms. If you can't afford Mo, or you don't have that Dibble, which you just mentioned, I mean, he may be worth a shot.
I agree with that. I think that's why he's in my honorable mentions section. If you need a good bullpen type of guy with high per nines, throw some gas. Wish that forkball and slider were a little bit slower, but I think it's definitely an honorable mention for me. He's definitely in that group. Let's head over to the National League East, the Atlanta Braves. For the Atlanta Braves, we have the 99 John Smoltz. What do you think about 99 John Smoltz? Yeah.
When I look at 99 Smoltz, I get very excited because I know, obviously, being a new legend in the game, growing up watching him, I was very excited about this card. I'm intrigued to use this one. I think he has the possibility of ending up at the top 5 of this stage 3. It just depends. We gotta see that splitter changeup. There is talking about speed differential. It's there. He obviously has that per nines. The break, the fastball, obviously he doesn't have outlier. He may touch 99, 100. But the card, I feel like he's missing something. He cracks my top 10 barely, but I feel like he's just missing something. Obviously he doesn't have a sinker, he doesn't have a cutter, obviously he does have a slider, but everything breaks down other than that. The splitter, changeup, and curveball. I wish he had something else, but he looks like a very solid card. I mean, it's a free 99 starting pitcher.
I'm excited to see this card as well. Growing up as a fan of 90s baseball, 117 stamina, so he's got a lot of gas in the tank. 98, 103 can go up 3 when you prestige him. If you decide to prestige him, 99 on the break, forcing the slider, the changeup, the curveball. He's kind of got the traditional pitches. With that splitter, obviously, is going to go a little bit faster than the changeup. Kind of have the same motion. Worries me about this card is he just going to throw the ball very, very straight? Is he going to be able to read? I do like his motion that he has, but I feel like we faced the other card, I felt like he was very easy to pick up, and I was able to hit him well. So I personally have him in the honorable mentions. I want to see how well he does, but for me right now, I'm going to keep him in my honorable mentions. The next team we have up is the Marlins, and this is an interesting one. I think this card might be pretty underrated. What are your thoughts on AJ Burnett?
I mean, this card looks, talking about pitch speed again, right? He can hit 100 and he can throw it at that knuckle curve at 76, 77, 78. Very solid per nines. He does have that sinker. He throws heat. Obviously, the only issue with me is the control. 66 walks and 77 control. It's a little bit of an issue, and it's probably the reason why he's not a 98 and 99. Although you can prestige, obviously that 77 would jump into an 80. I have this card at like 20, but I feel like he can be the second or third best pitcher of the entire Affinity. So I think it depends on how good of a pitcher you are, as far as like if you can control the analog very well. If not, you're gonna have a little bit of issue because of his control, but he has so much potential.
I think that's a spot on take. I do like AJ Burnett's motion quite a bit. I used this card a little bit last year when we had the signature series AJ Burnett. He was not very expensive. Thing is, I think just the control becomes a little bit of an issue, especially if you get deeper into his pitches. Like, I don't think that slider is going to work too well. That sinker is going to be nice, but comboing them together, if I can't control the slider, is going to be a problem. And just I do like that knuckle curve, big speed differential there. Got to kind of use the four seam, the sinker, the knuckle, and the changeup a little bit. See how the slider is at the end of the day, but he has the potential to be a pretty good card. He is in my honorable mentions as well. We're going to move on to the New York Mets. What do you think about Al Leiter, Yayo?
When I first saw Al Leiter, I was like, I wasn't too excited, but then I saw his pitch repertoire and I was like, yep, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be replacing Lodolo in a lot of rotations. I feel like very good for nine, sinker cutter combo. It's the best thing you can ask for. He still has that curveball, slider, and the fastball. Prestige version, obviously that sinker instead of 93 is going to start getting up there in velocity, so he's probably going to be able to touch a 96, I would think. I'm very excited about this Al Leiter. I have him on my top 3, actually on my 3rd spot, right behind Ora Hershiser, but we'll get to that. But I mean, the card looks very solid. A lot of people like Lodolo because of the sinker and being a lefty. This card is a lefty, has a sinker and a cutter with better per nines. I can see this card being very good for a long time.
I completely agree with that. I absolutely I'm enamored with this card. I did not like facing this card. It was the lower tier version of Al Leiter in the 5th inning showdown. I did not like that at all, but he's got 100, 103 on the per nines, 111. We're going to bump those up 3 when we get him prestige. The 77 or 78 BB per 9, the 84 control. He has that pitch selection that you're looking for. The sinker and the cutter are so nice to combo together. It looks like it's coming straight down the middle of the plate high, and then it either breaks on your hands or it breaks outside. And there's 2 primary pitches, which is a huge advantage. Doesn't have the changeup, but we can use that curveball down in the dirt a lot like we would use the changeup. Has the slider in that 4-seam if we really need to bust out the 4-seam later on, and then we have that slider to have a little bit more break than the cutter. I'm really high on this card. This card is my number 2 overall card I have out of these stage 3 affinities. So let's go ahead and move on to the Phillies, and we got a big card here. 99 overall, Mike Schmidt. What do you think about this one, Yayo?
Top 5 card. I mean, it's a top 5 card for me. The Mike Schmidt has always had a very good swing. He's gonna destroy lefties with that 108, 122 power. Against righties, he's still very solid. 106 power, 87 contact. It's a little bit on the lower side, especially if you're gonna be playing legend games. But that defense at third is elite. 95 with 95 arm strength. I mean, you can ask for a whole lot more from a third baseman. Power hitter that can defend with a very good swing. He's a top 5 card for me.
Mike Schmidt is an absolute beast at 87, 108, 106, 122. The prestige is going to boost him up to some nice numbers as well. He's going to hit 90 in the contact. He's also going to hit 125 over on the power versus left. Pitching goes up to an 84. The fielding goes to a 98. The arm strength goes to a 98. 62 speed. Schmidt is one of the more well-rounded cards in Diamond Dynasty. Sometimes I like to build, like later in the year, I like to build more of a defensive type of lineup just to use. It really helps out my pitching because it's just, I can put Schmidt in like a great defender at shortstop, a great defender at second base, on and on. It makes it really tough to score runs when we're taking away a lot of hits and stuff like that. So I have Mike Schmidt. I mean, great hitter and great defense. 62 speed. It's not like they stuck him with like 30 some speed or something like that. Also can play first base, so he can be a sneaky player off the bench if you need somebody to go into third or go into first base or just hit against left-handed pitching. Mike Schmidt, really nice card. And let's head back to the AL Central. We're gonna talk about the reward here, and that is Paul Konerko.
We're missing the Nationals.
We missed the Nationals. That's on me. Thank you so much, man. We are totally missing the Nationals.
And this is a good one, too. This is a good one.
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much, Jay. What do you think about Andre Dawson, who is the Nationals reward?
Andre Dawson, and I know you played in 17. I used to watch you in 17. And Andre Dawson was probably a top 3 card in MLB The Show 17. And I was thinking that this card was going to be right up there. It's a little bit... it's not as good as I thought. I would have liked to see a little bit more power, but we are able to prestige them. So I mean, this is a 5-tool player, right? 102, 108 contact. He's gonna destroy both sides. Honestly, that 84 power against righties it's gonna go up to 87. I mean, 93 fielding, 97 arm strength. With 85 speed, he can steal, he can hit home run, he can do it all. Again, like in 17, he was good. He had a very good swing. I'm expecting this card to have a very good swing as well. So this card can play all 3 positions without losing anything, to be honest. Very, very solid card. I do have him in my top 10, actually in the 8th spot.
I don't know how I am possibly leaving this card in my honorable mentions. He has to be somewhere in the top 10. I'm looking at his numbers, just thinking about the prestige. 105, 111, 87, 99, 104 vision. I'm going to turn that fielding up to 96 when we put him in left field or right field. He's still going to have diamond defense. He's going to have a 99 arm, and he's going to have 88 speed. Never quite seen the Dawson that we saw in MLB The Show 17 quite again, and I agree with you that the power is a little bit lower than we saw in that game, but he still does have a lot of pop, and this is 5 tools can be. I mean, I really think I had this card way too low in my honorable mentions. This card is great. A really, really good card. Really good card. Definitely, if you go after this card, it's definitely worth it. Great. Now, head to the White Sox. We have Paul Konerko, one of the White Sox legends at first base.
Oh, I feel bad. I feel bad for Paul Konerko. I feel like there's so many first basemen, and he always get lost, kind of like in the dust. And I mean, the attributes offensively, they're just amazing. I mean, 96, 95, very solid against righties. 107, 106. Obviously, this can be prestige, so that can end up at 99, 98 against righties. Problem is his defense. Obviously, that doesn't help him. That's why he's a 97 overall. I feel like we have better first baseman. I have him closer to my top 20, but actually, it's not a bad card. Honestly, offensively, he's not a bad card. I remember using him last year, and he had a very nice swing as well. It's just somebody that doesn't come out, and it's kind of like what he was in his career. I feel like a lot of people forgot about him, and obviously coming after Frank Thomas, and I think that hurt him. I think that's the same thing that we're seeing here in MLB The Show. A lot of people forget about him as well.
That is spot on analysis to me. He is just it's almost like a budget version of Frank Thomas when you really look at the card too. It's like he's got all the hitting, but he doesn't quite have that super elite hitting where you can excuse the fielding and the speed. This is not one personally that I would go after, but if you're a White Sox fan, Paul Konerko, an absolute legend for the White Sox. Definitely pick him up if you're a White Sox fan. If you're not a White Sox fan, I would probably steer clear of this one and go and like a variety of different directions that we have with the new content. We got the Cleveland Indians. A new legend has emerged. He's been rumored, and he is here, and he is ready to go. Jim Thome, what do you think, Yayo?
This is what I'm talking about. There's better options at first base. This is one of them. At the very worst, this is an end game bench bat. Very worst. Prestige version is gonna end up 122, 125 against righties. Obviously, the vision is a little bit low, but that contact is high enough where the PCI, it's gonna be at a nice size, regardless of the difficulty you're playing. And he also has 94 power against lefties. I cannot wait to try it out because I feel like this card, like his swing has to be amazing. Like there's no reason why it shouldn't be. Obviously, first baseman, he doesn't have the defense, he doesn't have the speed. But this card, I have him in at my fourth card. I feel like in part is because he's a new legend. It's a big name that we've been waiting for. But I mean, at the same time, he's gonna have 125 power against righties with 94 against lefties, and I'm expecting for him to have a very good swing. I cannot wait to try this card. This is you gotta go try this card, right?
Absolute new legend. I love what you said about the end game bat on the bench. If we ever got a Diamond Dynasty DH, could you think of a nicer card? Because
yes.
You prestige him up to 120 something, 125. He's just gonna absolutely mash right-handed pitching. I like what you said about the swing as well. I agree with you on that one. He's gonna have a good one. Also, the vision, it is lower, but that contact is extreme versus right-handed pitching. This card might be a little bit of an expense to have on your bench, but as more people complete these and sell them in the market, his price should go down. This is a card that you're going to want to have on your bench to be able to smash right-handed pitching. Be a little bit more cost-effective than David Ortiz. They kind of have that same, just absolutely going to smash right-handed pitching type of build with not a lot of speed or defense behind it. I'm excited to see Jim Thome in this game. Just made the Hall of Fame, absolute legend. I'm a fan of Jim Thome. I've got him at number 5 just because of his end game bench bat potential. So it's definitely worth it if you can pick up a card like that. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at the Detroit Tigers now, and we got a boosted Al Kaline.
Oh my God, he looks so good. He looks like. The only reason why he's not a 5-tool player is because of his speed. I remember last year he had this is a card that's always very underrated because outfielders are usually ran by the Willie Mays, now Mickey Mantle, Ken Griffey, Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, right? And a lot of people forget about this card. This card with Prestige is gonna be 110-90 against righties with 125-98. I mean, it's insane. 113 vision, the fielding and the arm is there. He's always had a very good swing. I have him at number 10 as well, like cracked just inside my top 10. And I feel like this card is gonna be, he's gonna be able to do anything you want. Obviously, the speed is not there. You don't want to plug him in at center field. I wouldn't recommend that. But corner outfielder with very good hitting attributes. He's a W for sure. No need to pass on it.
He's going to be able to put that PCI on the ball with all that contact, all of that vision, has a good amount of power as well. 96 fielding. Even if you don't prestige him, he's still going to have 91 fielding either in the corner outfield spots or at first base. So comparing to some of our other first base spots, he's got a little bit less power maybe. He's got amazing defense and high speed for a first baseman. 88 reaction that would go up to a 91. He would have 99 fielding and a 96 arm if you prestige him. This is definitely one of the better ones. For some reason, I have him at number 10 on my list. He should be higher than that. I think it's just the outfield is so populated with great cards in first base that it's a little bit more difficult to plug them in higher on this list. But I really am a fan of this Al Kaline card. Really, really good card, Mr. Tiger. We're going to go ahead and take a look at my team, the Kansas City Royals. At the 99 overall, we have George Brett, 123, 114, 85, 80, 120 vision, 85 fielding. This card looks like it could be nicely boosted with a little bit of prestige. What do you think, Yayo?
Same. I think It was such a big W when I saw that he had 80 power on both sides, because I was a little bit worried about that. I was a little worried that they wouldn't give him that power, especially against lefties, but they did. He can smash both sides. Diamond defense, I mean, 85 fielding, he'll go up to 88, but golden game with Diamond in general. Very solid card. I have him inside my top 10 as well. Just I think I'm at 10th right now. But very good card. I mean, George Brett has always had a good swing. He's going to be hitting those gap shots as well. I feel like his swing is perfect for that. I know you're excited because especially the prestige version is going to go up to 88 and 83 power, giving him that boost, max contact against righties with 123 vision. Insane attributes.
We've never, this is another card that kind of reminds me of Andre Dawson in a way, is we've never seen the insane boosted MLB The Show 17 George Brett, but I feel like this is a much more accurate representation of who George Brett is as a hitter. Like you said, we're going to put balls in the gap. We're occasionally going to hit ones over the wall. We're going to have solid defense at third. It's going to go up to an 88, 65 speed, so he's quick on his feet as well. He's kind of like, if Mike Schmidt has the power, he's got the gap power. I think he would be pretty good on Legend as well, because you're still going to have a pretty good nice PCI. So I'm interested to see how he's going to work out. Also has that secondary of first base. Definitely excited. I think this is a great one. The all-time, by far the best player in Royals history, George Brett.
One of the best third basemen in the history, too.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. We're going to go ahead and look at wins, and we've got a big bat here in Harmon Killebrew. What do you think about Harmon Killebrew?
Oh, this card is so good. I mean, kind of like the opposite of Jin Tomey as well, as far as like Jin Tomey's an end game to face righties. This card can be end game to face lefties. Bench bat, worst case scenario. He doesn't have the fielding. Playing at third, I feel like defense is a little bit more important than at first base. He doesn't have that, but that 121 against righties and 125 power plays at any level. He has that contact 102.92. This can be prestige, so that he's gonna have max power pretty much against both sides, the prestige version. So this card is definitely in my top 5. It's actually at number 5, I'm sorry, at number 6 I have him. So offensively, he's just insane. He can be better defensively, and that's the reason why he didn't crack my top 5. So I took a little bit points off of that. But I mean, the card attributes wise, offensively, is definitely probably the best card that we have at stage 3.
This card absolutely mashed. The power again, prestige in 124, 125, the vision at 99. The contact is going to go up for both sides as well. Fielding is where I really have a problem with this card. I feel like this guy, Harmon Killebrew, if you're on more of a budget team, he can be your fourth hitter. Just try to hide him on defense the best you can. Probably play him at third or first base. I think left field would be an absolute mistake for this card, because you're going to be having common fielding with 39 speed. Whatever you do not stick him in the outfield if you got a budget squad. If you got a more stacked squad, this is a perfect type of bench bat, because he's going to have massive power from both sides. Can get you back into the game. Let's say you're down 2 or 3 runs, going up against the pitcher. You need a pinch hit. Take out your starting pitcher early and get some instant offense. I think you can get it from this Harmon Killebrew card. Lots and lots of power. I like this one a lot. I got him rated as my number 4 card just because I see so much potential with him coming off the bench. The bench, you gotta have a good solid bench to compete in Diamond Dynasty. You're gonna use it every single game, so you need to have some good players on it. It's worth investing in having a good bench. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Chicago Cubs. Now, what do you think about this pitcher, Yayo?
The only thing is that I wish he had outlier, but he's gonna be hitting 100, 101. Great per nines. One of my favorite pitchers to watch growing up. I remember that 20K game, but I mean, he has it all that you need. Obviously, the control is not there. I have him in my top 5. My thing is that he's right there with Burnett. He can be the best pitcher of the list, but if you can't control him, you're gonna have a tough time. So that's my only thing. I think that slurve is disgusting, and that cutter is gonna be key. Having a fastball that touches 100 with a mid-80 slurve, that cutter is gonna be the key pitch as well, that you can mix it in and throw the hitter off.
This card has great per nines, elite per nines for a starting pitcher. He's kind of got that Nolan Ryan thing going on, but he's got a little bit more of a pitch selection, a lot more actually of a pitch selection. It has the SLV, has the changeup, has the cutter. I agree with you that cutter is going to be important. Control is definitely going to be an issue, kind of like how we talked about the AJ Burnett. Can you try to use the analog to the best of your ability? That's going to be a factor. Going to want to have confidence with this card to hopefully be able to hit your spots better. He does have the elite ace per nine and K per nine. I feel like this could be a card that you could either be like on fire with or maybe a little bit inconsistent with, but he definitely throws gas. I would not want to really face this card on Legend. I'm not gonna. Just a lot of stuff to prepare for, a lot of gas to deal with. So he should be an interesting one for sure. Move on to the Cincinnati Reds, and we have an explosive outfielder for this card. What do you think about Eric Davis, Yayo?
I mean, this card is a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. Like, another 5-tool outfielder. The power is there against both sides. Prestige version is going to have 99 as far as speed and stealing. I mean, the card looks insane. He has a weird batting stance, but that weird batting stance can actually throw off the pitcher. So I like that. Vision is kind of low, but he has that contact, and against both sides, he's still gonna be very good. This card, I actually had him at number 5, but I had to put Jin Tomey there over him. But this card is very good. It's a very good card for me. It's the best outfielder of the entire bunch.
I like this card a lot. This card to me definitely has the speed. I love having the speed in the outfield. You got 3 outfielders out there with elite speed. It becomes very difficult for your opponent to get hits. They're going to be getting good goods, perfects, good squared, but you're covering so much ground out there that if it's not going over the wall, it might be getting caught. And Eric Davis can really lead, or could really help your team out in that regard. Has the 92 arm, and he has 93 reaction with 99 speed. He's covering all territory defensively. Offensively, has some good pop. If you can put that PCI on the ball, you're going to be in business with this card. This card looks like a very, very elite, like battle royale type of card. Good card in the ESL with a lot of versatility as well. I'm a big fan of this Eric Davis card. I have him at number 7 on my list. He kind of reminds me of Andre Dawson, just 5-tool player again with tons of speed, tons of fielding, and has some good pop as well. I like what you said about his swing too, because his swing, if someone's pitching from strike zone, sometimes that bat can get in the way of the analog meter. So he can definitely throw off your opponent's pitching.
It's uncomfortable.
This card, I don't have too much of an opinion on this card. This is the Brewers Robin Yount. What do you think about Robin Yount?
Same thing for me. It's a bottom 5 card. He meets the 80 power threshold, but at the same, he has good fielding. The best thing about it is that he has the contact and it's a shortstop. But other than that, I'm not really too intrigued. I got my cap and other options that I like better.
Robin Yount for me, I would recommend more that you go and make a created, balanced shortstop. Put some equipment on him. I think he's going to be more dynamic there at shortstop. I also think, Barry Larkin, and I also think, Carlos Correa, you can go after them as well with not too much effort, to be honest with you. I'd rather probably use them over this Robin Yount card. Personally, I don't really have too much of a thought on this one, but if you guys if you guys really like this one, let me know down in the comment section below, or let us know down in the comment section below. We're going to go ahead and move on to Jason Kendall. This is another one I just don't have too much of a thought on. I'm not really high on this card at catcher. I like that he has the contact, a little bit of speed. He doesn't have elite defense to back up the speed, and he doesn't really have a lot of power for me that I'm looking for in the catcher position. So this one to me is kind of a pass. What do you think, Yayo?
Same thing. I'm very nice contact and vision, but other than that, I have Prestige Biggio behind the plate. He's not better than that, but there are better options at catcher. He's just not. I like power. He doesn't have it. I'm not really intrigued by him.
I like to use the Prestige Biggio as well, but I think some of the options too, like just even like Gary Sanchez that you get for free, or even like Buster Posey, I would much rather use a catcher than I would Jason Kendall. So that one is just not one to go after for me. That one, Me is like, if you're gonna do the entire set of these, like that should be a cheaper one to go after in that Jason Kim. We're going to take a look at the Cardinals, and we've got an absolute burner on the bases in Lou Brock. What do you think about Lou Brock, Yayo?
I kind of like Lou Brock, honestly. Max contact, max speed. The power is not there, but he's a speedster, right? My only thing is that looking through all these players, I'd rather have Eric Davis than him. Obviously, if you feel like you need a lefty leadoff hitter, this could be it instead of Eric Davis. If you want to balance your lineup up. But you know, Eric Davis has the power, he has the contact. Eric Davis has the defense and the arm strength that Lou Brock doesn't have. But other than that, this looks like a very solid card. He's always very good card, but he doesn't crack my top 10.
I think that's a really, really good deep dive there, because I was thinking as well, like, you know, he has that 99 speed. I think he kind of reminds me of a left-handed version of Ricky Henderson, but it's like, why not go after Eric Davis? I think Eric Davis would be great on the bench as well, just because you'd have that 99 speed and you'd have a little bit more hitting. Lou Brock just really doesn't have the defense either. Would be a good leadoff hitter. You definitely are going to be able to take pitches with that 99 speed, because you're going to have to get pitches thrown to you. Otherwise, he's going to be a nuisance on the base pass. I just think the fielding, the arm strength is a little bit low, and you're probably going to want to keep him in left field. He will cover a lot of ground on there, but he won't be as great of a defender as you might think. A lot of pop, might be better at prestige, pretty decent swing. I just think, like, your point about Eric Davis kind of makes Lou Brock, it just puts Lou Brock in a tough spot. You know, if you're only going to go after a couple of these, I'd recommend you go after Davis instead of Brock. I think that's a really, really good point, Yayo. Now we got a new legend in the game for the Anaheim Angels, or the Los Angeles Angels, I should say. We got another fish. We got Mike Trout, and we got Tim Salmon. What do you think about Tim Salmon?
I was thinking either Salmon or Troy Gloss for the new legends for the Angels. It is Salmon, but I mean, offensively, he looks better than what I thought he would look, to be honest. Obviously, he was never a great defender, fast or anything, but offensively, very good card. I was watching Shelfie's stream actually earlier. He was using him on the event, and he was smashing the ball with him. He said he liked his swing. I mean, he looks very solid. Again, I feel like there's a lot of better options, so he doesn't crack my top 10, top 15. He's more around the 20 mark for me. Alongside with like Dante Bichette, that we'll get to that, but honestly, offensively, he looks very good.
Those solid offensive numbers, he a little bit kind of reminds me of like Paul Konerko, just because of the 65 fielding and the 58 speed. I'm not too high on that. Does have a big time bat. I do feel like he has more hitting than I would probably have given him, but you know, these cards, you got to give him some good stuff. He's a new legend. That's very interesting that he's got the good swing and everything like that. I think he's going to hold it down on offense, but I'm a little bit worried about sticking him out in right field with 65 fielding and only a 78 arm. That is exactly a cannon out there, and only 58 speed. I feel like if your opponent starts hitting the ball to the gap, he's going to have a lot of trouble covering that up. So hopefully, if he gave up a run in right field or in left field, he can make it up with that great hitting at the plate. Let's see. We're going to move to the A's. I really don't have a lot of thoughts on this guy. It just feels like year after year after year, Catfish Hunter gets dogged, and this is another year of that. The 4-seam, the slider, the changeup, the curveball, the 2-seam, the low per nines. I'm completely 100% out on Catfish Hunter for another year in a row. What do you think? Yeah.
I mean, if you made it this far in the video, you already heard what I said about Jim Palmer. I'll probably have the same thing to say about him. I think they're basically identical cards. I'm not intrigued. Bottom 5 card for me. There are a lot better options at pitcher.
To be honest, this might be my lowest card. I think I just know I do not want Catfish Hunter.
Yeah.
Just no. Let's see. We're gonna move on to the Mariners, and we got an absolute masher in Jay Buhner. What are your thoughts on Jay Buhner?
I like this card. Well, like I was talking about Tim Salmon, he has the great offensive attributes, but he doesn't have the fielding, right? Well, Jay Buhner has it. Jay Buhner has more power. He has the 99 arm strength. He's had a very good swing. Vision is kind of low, but this card, that's what you want from an outfielder. If you're a Seattle Mariners fan, you're probably happy with this card. You're probably going to get him and use him, and he's probably going to be very successful.
Hey, Buhner has a lot of pop with that 108, 116. He's going to be a good guy to use potentially off the bench versus, your left-handed pitchers. He has 85 fielding and he has the 99 arm with the 52 speed. Now, I think we just talked about Tim Salmon. I always pronounce names wrong. I'm horrible with that. But he does have that cannon. He's going to go up to an 88 in fielding, a little bit low reaction, a little bit low speed. I'd take Buhner over Tim Salmon personally. I like the power too. I mean, like 108, 116 is no joke. The power either. I kind of have him in that honorable mention type of tier. I like Dawson. I like Davis a lot better than this one, just because they have that speed. I just am not a fan of outfielders that aren't very fast, unless your name is George Herman Ruth, and then you got an outfield spot on my team.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go to the Texas Rangers here. Again, it's kind of disappointing in the shortstop position for me, even though Michael Young can play first, second, and third base. I'm not particularly high on this card. Not a lot of power. Defense is good, but not great. And then obviously low speed. I kind of like fast guys up the middle for my shortstop and my second baseman. I just don't think he has the pop for me to play first or third. What do you think, Yayo?
Same thing. I mean, very similar card to Robin Young. If you need a shortstop, I can see it. I mean, you'll have to prestige him to get that power over 80 against righties. But he's not going to be a lead. Same thing. I'd rather have Correa. I'd rather have my creative player at short. He's just not a card that really intrigues me like that. But, he's an okay card, bottom 5 card for me as well.
Completely agreed there. We're going to move on to Houston Astros, and we got an all-time Houston Astro legend. Used to kick it with Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell. 104, 125, 101, 110, 91 vision, 81 fielding, 61 speed. What are your thoughts, Yayo, on this guy?
The card looks very good. Again, there's a lot of first basemen that we have in this group. I think he's up there. He's up there. If you can get by his weird batting stance, then you're good. He's obviously going to be destroying lefties with that 125, 110. Against righties, he's not too bad either. 104, 101. I mean, the card is going to be very good offensively. The defense, actually 81 is not bad at all. That's a gold defense. You wouldn't think about that, Jeff Bagwell, right? But and 61 speed for a first baseman. We've seen first baseman with 30 speed. This is not bad. However, the only issue would be more of that the batting stance. If you can get by that, I know you have a little bit of issue with his smaller strike zone and weird batting stance, but I mean, it's a very good card. I have him around the 15 as well.
That's a great point. For me, the stance is a little bit different. You're going to have to get used to it. Personally, it's not it's not Cody Bellinger's swing up there. It's a little bit different. It's got some moving parts to it. 125, 110, you boost that up, 113 power, 104 power. It's going to be nice. I think the point that you made about the fielding and the speed is fantastic. Because 81 fielding and 61 speed, I like having that quick first baseman. He can get around put a ball in the gap with him with that 61 speed. He's getting that double pretty easily. Not going to make a ton of errors over at first. He doesn't have that rocket arm on a ground ball hit to him for a double play or a relay throw type of deal. If they're trying to get if somebody's trying to go home on a base hit, pretty good hitter overall. I think, to me, have him outside of my top 10, but I don't have him quite in the honorable mention section, but he should almost be in there. It's just he's got some good stats. I'm interested to see what you guys have in the comment section about Jeff Bagwell as well. We're gonna move on to our last 5 teams, and we are going to start with the Arizona Diamondbacks and Matt Williams. Now, personally, I'm pretty high on this card. This card reminds me a lot of Chipper Jones, especially prestige. 100, 121. He's gonna have, I'm just throwing in that +3, 91, which is very similar to what Chipper Jones has versus right-handed pitching. 121, 109. Chipper's got a little bit more power versus left, 100 vision. This card does have less speed and more fielding, so that's pretty much the difference. Like, Chipper also has a secondary of shortstop, which Matt Williams does not have. But Matt Williams, if you want a little bit more fielding at third, a little bit less speed, a little bit less power, but some decent hitting as well. I think that's kind of my review of Matt Williams. What do you think about Matt Williams, Yayo?
Yeah, I agree. I think this card is it can be underrated. It can get lost, kind of like with so many cards and so many content. If you don't like somebody like Harmon Killebrew because of his defense, maybe you can take a look at this Matt Williams. I mean, I feel like I'm a little down on him. I have him closer to 20, but I mean, this card is again, it's gonna smash lefties, and he has gold defense at third. I mean, it looks very good. It looks very good all around. So yeah, I feel like he should be closer to 10 and 15 rather than 20.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and move on to the Colorado Rockies. And this is not this is not Bo Bichette or Dante Bichette Jr. This is Dante Bichette Sr., fielder for the Colorado Rockies. 111, 114, 90, 100, 103 vision. What are your thoughts on this one, Yayo?
Again, another card that offensively it looks very good on paper and everything, but that defense and fielding scares me. There's not much to say. Give me Eric Davis, give me Andre Dawson, give me Al Kaline, give me all those other outfielders before him, even Jay Buhner. I'd rather have Jay Buhner than him. Not a bad card offensively, but it's just that defense is just not there for me.
I'm completely 100% lock and step with that one. Let's go ahead, and this is one that we're looking at with a very close eye. Oral Hershiser finally getting that boosted card. 118, 96, 91, and 2 BB per 987 control, 96 break. He's got one of the best motions in the history of MLB The Show. Has the sinker, the cutter, the curveball, the changeup, the slider. I think he's got a beautiful pitch mix. Does have the slider, could have a different pitch than that spot, but nothing that this man throws is going to be straight. So if you're a fastball hitter, it's not going to be a good day. And I feel like he plays above his control in general, just because of that motion and just how it just feels really, really smooth. That animation. I'm extremely high on Oral Hershiser. I have him as my #1 card in all of this. You might be thinking maybe his stats are a little bit lower, but trust me, you pick this card up, he's going to be someone that sticks around your rotation for a long, long time. I'm a huge fan of this one. What do you think, what do you think about Oral Hershiser?
I mean, I agree. I think this is the card that we wanted from last year. We never got him, but he's here. I mean, sinker cutter combination, very easy to control, very easy to use, very easy pitching motion. My only problem with him, if I didn't, I still have him at #1, is that I wish that slider was a four seam. I feel like the opponent know that if it's coming in hot, it's gonna break on the sinker. Sometimes that fastball can throw them off. He doesn't have that fastball. For some reason they removed it, but I mean, this card is probably gonna be the best pitcher. When you prestige him, that sinker is gonna get up there in the 96, closer to 96 consistently instead of 93. So I am all in on Oral Hershiser. I'm gonna be giving him a try. I can see this card being very difficult on Legend if you know how to use the sinker and cutter combo.
For sure, man, for sure. Now we're going to go to the San Diego Padres, and we got one of the best contact hitters of all time, Tony Gwynn. What are your thoughts on Tony Gwynn?
I wish last year his card was so good. But this year, if the player doesn't have 80 power, it's just it looks so. He needs that power, and I just feel like he doesn't have him. I have him around this 17 because he's not a 5-tool player because of the power. Obviously, max out contact and vision. Speed is 85. I thought he would be actually closer to 95 or 90. So it doesn't make much of a difference anyways. He has the arm and the fielding, but I just wish he had a little bit more power. I don't think he's going to be hitting those home runs that you want out of the right fielders.
I think I'm completely agree with you on that one. I just don't think he has that power. And also, if you prestige him, he's not quite at that power level either. I mean, it's getting closer to 60, 70. I like that 75 number. I can work with 60 sometimes, but that's more of like in a showdown with like a bronze or a common card. This is not really what I'm looking for out of an outfielder. I really Tony Gwynn is like a player I respect immensely. I love his hitting tips and stuff like that. just feel like I'm more of a guy that likes power. If you like that finesse game, if you like hitting base hits, you know, playing a little bit of small ball, this is a perfect card for you, because he's gonna like hit. He's gonna get a lot of singles. He's gonna hit the ball, the gaps. He's just not gonna hit it over the wall. Might be a pretty good leadoff hitter if he got to 88 speed. He's gonna make contact. He's gonna get runners over, but he just doesn't have that game-changing power. So important in Diamond Dynasty. So I don't have him too high on my list, but it was great last year with like the contact meta before they kind of ironed some stuff out to make power a little bit more important later on in the year. But power this year is definitely the way to go. Very last card is Juan Marshall, a pitcher for the Giants. What are your thoughts on Juan Marshall?
I like Marshall, 99 overall. My only thing is that he has that screwball, curveball, and changeup. They're very close as far as speed differential. He doesn't have that. I just have him just outside of my top 10. So I would put him in the honorable mentions. Good card, decent card. That screwball can throw off some people. Per nines are not elite, but obviously prestiging him would be even better. But yeah, I think he's a solid card. I would rather have Ora Hershiser. I would rather have Al Leiter. Probably he's right there with Kerwood, Burnett, and him. You know, not a bad card, but I like to get those fastball closer to 100 miles an hour.
For sure. He's got a very interesting pitch repertoire. You know, the slider, the screwball, the curveball, the changeup. I'm not particularly a big fan of the screwball in Diamond Dynasty. I think it looks like an awesome pitch to have, but I think it's way more effective in real life than it is actually in the game. One of the coolest pitchers of all time, Juan Marichal. I'm just not as high, particularly on this card. I've never been that great with him, but I really am a huge fan of him as a player. There you have it, guys. We reviewed all of the Team Affinity program Stage 3 rewards. I hope you guys got a little bit more insight on some knowledge about these cards. Maybe you guys know a certain direction that you would want to go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you so much to Yayo for joining me on this video. I really appreciate it, Yayo. Honestly, I mean it. I'm 100%. I think you're one of the nicest people I've ever met in the Diamond Dynasty community. I love your positivity, man. And just thank you so much for joining me doing this. And guys, make sure you guys smash that like button if you guys would like to see us make more videos like this in the future.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the words. I appreciate you having me. I think this is cool. I have fun. I love talking baseball, MLB The Show content, and there's no better year to cover content than MLB The Show 20. So I'm excited. Hopefully we can do it again.
Sounds good to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, have a great day.